Ever feel like no matter how hard you push, life keeps slipping through your fingers? You're grinding every day, but something's still off. What if I told you that sometimes the best thing you can do when you feel lost is not to keep pushing? When you feel lost in life, don't just keep pushing. Try this instead. Today we're talking about a powerful shift that could change everything, because pushing harder isn't always the answer. So, what if there's a better way to find your path without the burnout? Let's dive in. Slow down to find direction. Sometimes you got to pump the brakes to figure out where the hell you're headed. Motion without meaning is just noise. When you feel lost, more action isn't always the answer. Slowing down gives you clarity. Don't confuse productivity with purpose. You ever find yourself moving so fast that you forget why you even started? Like you're on a treadmill that won't stop and every step feels more like survival than progress? That's the moment of pause. Not quit, pause. Because there's a big difference between momentum and meaning. See, we live in a world that praises the hustle, glorifies the grind. Everyone's sprinting to some invisible finish line. But here's the truth. Speed don't mean squat if you're heading in the wrong direction. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're getting anywhere worth going. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is slow it all down. Take a breath. Sit with yourself. Ask the real questions. What am I really after? Is this path mine or someone else's version of success? That stillness, that silence, that's not weakness. That's wisdom knocking on your door. Think about a car driving through thick fog. The faster you go, the more dangerous it gets. But if you ease off the gas, turn on your low beams, and pay attention, you start to see the road again. Life's the same way. When it's foggy, when you feel lost, you don't push harder, you pull back and look within. In your daily life, this might mean taking 10 minutes in the morning to journal, or taking a walk without your phone. It might mean saying no to that extra task so you can say yes to your peace of mind. It's about getting real with yourself in the quiet, away from the noise. Slowing down ain't laziness, it's strategy. It's listening. And often when you do, you'll hear something that's been there the whole time. Your own inner compass trying to guide you home. So the next time life feels like it's spinning too fast, don't just keep running. Don't just keep pushing. Hit pause, breathe, reflect, and remember, clarity doesn't come from chaos, it comes from calm. All right. Now let's find your true north. Reflect, don't react. You can't read the map if you're too busy running. Take time to reflect on how you got here. Ask the deeper questions. Who am I becoming? What am I chasing? Write it down, talk it out, make the unseen seen. We spend so much of our time chasing what we think we want that we forget to ask ourselves what actually matters. See, the world's full of shiny things, success, status, the next big win. But let me tell you, not everything that glitters is gold, and not everything that gets applause feeds your soul. When you're feeling lost, it's usually because you've drifted away from your anchor, your values, your purpose, your heart. So instead of pushing forward blind, take a moment to step back and reflect on what really counts. What are the things that light you up when no one's watching? What gives your life meaning, not just momentum? In daily life, this could be as simple as asking yourself one powerful question each morning. What do I want to feel today? Not what do I need to achieve, not what's on my to-do list, but what's worth living for today. Sometimes what truly matters isn't on your calendar, it's a phone call to someone you love. It's taking the long way home so you can catch the sunset. It's helping someone when there's nothing in it for you. These moments, they're not detours from your life, they are your life. And here's the kicker. When you align with what truly matters, you stop feeling lost because your why becomes your compass. Every decision gets a little clearer, every step feels a little lighter. You start moving with intention, not just inertia. Truth is, we don't need to add more to our lives to feel whole. We just need to reconnect with what was always there: the people, the passions, the principles that remind us who we are when the world tries to tell us who we should be. So if you're wandering, take time to reflect. Let your heart do some talking. Let your spirit weigh in, because life ain't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. And once you figure that out, partner, the path you're meant to walk becomes clear as day. Let go of the timeline. Life ain't a straight line with mile markers telling you when you're on track. It's a dance. Let it unfold. Don't let society's expectations rush your journey. When you feel behind, remember, growth isn't always visible. Timing isn't failure, it's preparation. Now look, I get it. Stillness can feel like a four-letter word in a world that tells us to hustle 24/7, but let me tell you something real. Stillness isn't the absence of progress, it's the birthplace of clarity. See, we've been trained to think that if we're not grinding, we're falling behind. But sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to sit still. Not because you're giving up, but because you're listening in. You're listening to that quiet voice inside that's been trying to get your attention. The one that gets drowned out by the noise of deadlines, distractions, and doubts. Stillness is where your soul gets a chance to catch up with your body, where your thoughts slow down enough for the truth to rise to the surface. You might be surprised what comes up when you give yourself permission to pause. Old dreams, buried clarity, a sense of peace you didn't know you were missing. In your day-to-day life, this might look like taking 5 minutes in the morning to breathe before you reach for your phone. Maybe it's sitting on your porch after work instead of scrolling through social media. It could even be taking a walk without music or podcasts, just you and your thoughts. Stillness doesn't require a mountaintop or a meditation cushion. It just asks you to be present. And when you do that, when you really sit with yourself without trying to fix or figure everything out, you begin to hear that inner compass again, the one that always knows which way is true north. And here's the beautiful part. Stillness builds strength. Not the kind you flex, but the kind you carry. The kind that keeps you grounded when life gets loud. The kind that gives you the courage to wait for what's right instead of rushing into what's next. So if you feel lost, don't just move for the sake of moving. Sit still, get quiet, let the dust settle, because sometimes the answers you've been searching for, they've been waiting for you in the silence all along. Chase meaning, not just movement. We're all chasing something, but is it something that matters or just something that keeps us moving? Reevaluate what you're chasing. Define success on your own terms. Don't just push. Align your actions with values. Life will pull you in a dozen directions if you let it. Every headline, every notification, every opinion, all trying to tell you what matters. But the truth is, if you forget your why, you'll find yourself running fast in the wrong direction. Your why, that's your internal compass. It's not about what looks good on paper. It's not about what the crowd's doing. It's about what matters to you. What fuels your fire when the spotlight's off. What gets you out of bed when there's no applause, no deadline, no one watching. Now maybe you've been on autopilot lately, just going through the motions, checking boxes, hoping something eventually clicks. That's okay, we all drift sometimes, but drifting doesn't mean you're lost. It just means it's time to re-anchor. So how do you reconnect with your why? You slow down and ask yourself the hard, honest questions. Not just what do I want, but why do I want it? Why do I chase success? Why do I care about this dream? What's the deeper reason beneath the goal? When your why is clear, the how gets easier. Obstacles shrink because you've got something real to fight for. You don't fold when it gets tough. You lean in because your purpose is stronger than your fear. In daily life, that might mean journaling for 10 minutes in the morning, reflecting on the reason you started this path in the first place. It might mean talking to someone who reminds you who you are, or revisiting a passion project that lights you up inside. And here's the thing, your why doesn't have to be some grand, world-changing mission. Maybe it's about being a better parent. Maybe it's creating something that makes people feel seen. Maybe it's just about proving to yourself that you can do hard things. Whatever it is, own it. Because when you reconnect with your why, you stop chasing the world's definition of success and start walking your own path with purpose, with intention, and with peace in your heart. Use stillness as a strategy. Stillness ain't the absence of progress, it's the beginning of precision. Meditation, solitude, nature create space for insight. Sometimes the next move reveals itself in the silence. Stop looking out there for answers, they're already in you. In a world that's always moving fast, where every second is filled with noise, pressure, and distraction, stillness becomes a rare kind of power. But let me tell you something, friend. It's in the stillness where the truth gets loud. It's in the silence where the soul speaks. We weren't made to sprint nonstop. We weren't built to keep our minds in overdrive from sunup to sundown. And yet that's what most of us are doing, grinding every day, trying to force clarity, chasing peace like it's somewhere out there. But clarity doesn't come from chaos, it comes from calm. When you take time to sit with yourself, no distractions, no to-do list, just you give yourself the gift of alignment. You stop reacting to life and you start responding to it with intention. That's a whole different energy. Now, I'm not saying you need to go meditate in a mountain cabin for a week, though that didn't sound too bad. I'm talking about 5 minutes in the morning, sitting still before you touch your phone. I'm talking about a walk with no music, no podcast, just you and your thoughts. Maybe a journal before bed where you ask, what did I learn today? What am I grateful for? That stillness, it ain't laziness. It's maintenance. It's like cleaning the windshield of your car so you can see the road ahead. Applying this daily might look like taking a breath before reacting to someone. It might mean giving yourself permission to pause before saying yes to every demand. Stillness gives you the space to make choices based on who you are, not just what the world wants from you. And when you reflect, when you really sit with your own thoughts, with no judgment, you start to understand your patterns, your fears, your strengths. You stop running from yourself and start leaning into your own wisdom. Stillness is how you stop just existing and start living on purpose. So, don't just fill your schedule. Fill your soul. The answers you've been chasing might already be inside you, just waiting for you to slow down long enough to hear them. Don't be afraid to redefine yourself. You're not lost. You're just in the middle of becoming someone new. Feeling lost is a sign you're growing beyond old versions of yourself. Shed what no longer serves you. Start over. Reinvent. That's not weakness, it's power. In life, we often find ourselves at crossroads, feeling like we've lost our direction. The world changes, we change, and sometimes it feels like who we were doesn't align with who we're becoming. It's in these moments of uncertainty that we can be afraid to let go of what's familiar, even when it no longer serves us. But what if redefining yourself isn't just a possibility? It's exactly what you need to move forward. The truth is, we're all works in progress. We evolve, we adapt, and we can reinvent ourselves whenever we choose. Redefining yourself isn't about abandoning who you were. It's about shedding the old layers that no longer fit so you can grow into who you're meant to be. It's about embracing change, not as a setback, but as an opportunity to step into your full potential. Think about it. Some of the greatest moments of transformation in life don't happen when we push through the same routine, but when we dare to step off the path and try something new. Every great story of personal growth involves a chapter where the protagonist finds themselves at a point of reinvention. And guess what? That's not just reserved for the big screen. It's available to you 2, when you feel lost or unsure, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of growth in disguise. Sometimes the best way to move forward isn't to push harder, but to stop, reflect, and give yourself permission to change. This doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're choosing to evolve, to rise to the challenge of becoming a version of yourself that's even stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. In daily life, this means giving yourself the grace to try new things, take risks, and even fail, because failure isn't a dead end, it's simply feedback. Each moment of reinvention teaches you more about who you are and what you're capable of. You're not bound by past decisions or labels. Your potential is limitless. So don't be afraid to redefine yourself. It's not just about surviving the tough times. It's about using them as the fuel to recreate your life with purpose, passion, and a whole new sense of possibility. Remember, the journey to who you're becoming is just as important as the destination. Keep evolving, keep growing. You're exactly where you need to be. Follow the pull, not the pressure. And when life whispers, listen close. That's your soul calling you home. Pay attention to what feels right, not what looks good on paper. Intuition over impulse, purpose over pressure. The answers are often subtle. In life, there are two forces at play: the pressure to conform, to meet expectations, and to do what others think you should do, and the pull of your own heart, your inner calling that guides you toward what feels right, true, and aligned with your purpose. When you're feeling lost or uncertain, it's easy to get swept up in the pressure to keep up, to meet deadlines, to be everything to everyone. But here's the thing, pressure is external and it will only wear you down. The pull, however, comes from within and it will elevate you, bring you clarity, and guide you toward your true path. When you feel lost, it's tempting to keep pushing, to grind through the pressure in hopes of finding the answers. But all that's doing is pushing you further away from what truly matters to you. The key isn't about forcing yourself to fit into a mold or to match the pace of the world around you. The key is learning to listen, to tune into the pull that comes from your core. This pull is the quiet whisper of your true desires, your authentic self, and it's telling you to slow down, to be present, and to trust that you already know the way. Following the pull means paying attention to what excites you, what brings you peace, and what makes you feel alive. It's the things you naturally gravitate toward, the dreams that ignite a spark in your soul. It's not about doing what's expected, it's about doing what's meaningful to you. And here's the beautiful thing. When you follow the pull, the journey becomes easier. The clarity you seek appears naturally, and the pressure that once felt overwhelming starts to fade into the background. In your daily life, this means taking a step back when things feel chaotic and asking yourself, what am I truly passionate about? What direction feels authentic, even if it's different from what others expect? This isn't about rejecting responsibility or hard work. It's about being intentional with where you put your energy. When you let go of the weight of external pressure and follow your own pull, life starts to flow with more ease, more joy, and more fulfillment. So the next time you feel lost, don't keep pushing yourself through the noise. Instead, turn inward and listen to that quiet pull. Trust it, follow it, and let it guide you toward a life that's uniquely yours. So there you have it. When you feel lost, it's not about pushing harder. It's about listening to that inner pull and trusting your journey. You don't need to fight the tide. Sometimes you just need to flow with it and let life take you exactly where you need to be. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt stuck, pushing through the pressure, only to realize it wasn't the right path? Drop a comment below and let me know how you've shifted from pushing to following your inner pull. I'd love to hear your story. If you found this video helpful, you're not going to want to miss the next one in the playlist. I'm diving deeper into how to embrace life's challenges and turn them into fuel for growth. Click right here to continue the journey. Remember, life's a journey, not a race. Keep trusting the process. See you in the next one.